I just now dropped Lauren off at school, and on the way to school today, I told her about Dan. We have a perfect family in our street. They've got matching Volvos. Their house is perfect. They're the perfect family. Every time they step out, they're perfect. We don't even know the name of his wife. We call her Dan's wife. And we don't know the name of his children. We'll call them all Dan's kids, little Dan's. Anyway, they're perfect. But I said, imagine this. Imagine if every time Family Dan went into their house, and they're lovely, they wave hello, it's like the Truman Show. And imagine, I said, that things aren't so perfect in their house. You kind of hope that. And I said, imagine if when he shut his door and he waved goodbye to us all and all that sort of thing, and that family suddenly went weird. That family was weird. That as soon as they closed the door, they aren't how they appear. And suddenly, Dan, there's just one Dan. Dan suddenly splits into every room, and his wife does too. And Dan's nose comes off, floats about a bit, and comes back on again. And his arms pop off and on. But not just that Dan, there's about 40 million Dans. And they're all in the house, all walking through each other. And his wife's there, but they're not just walking on the floor. They're on the roof, they're upside down. They're sort of walking through midair. All their bits are falling off each other, Sometimes, I was thinking of something then, but Dan's nose pops off and hops onto his wife's ear. Sometimes one of Dan's kids is here, and then suddenly he's over there, like he disappears from there and he's over there. But that's just one of the versions of that kid. Yeah, everything's everywhere, and they're all acting like everything's normal. Would you like some cornflakes, dear? He says, one of the Dan's wives. Thank you, dear. And she makes him a bowl of cornflakes. She's down on the floor and she hands it up to him because he's at the table and chairs up on the roof, upside down. He picks up the cornflakes and turns them upside down, and the milk doesn't even fall out because gravity just doesn't matter. Not only that, all the walls and the space inside the house warps and bends. So when Dan walks from one room to the next, and suddenly pops into the next room anyway, but he kind of warps and like that, and I said, and then imagine, I said to Lauren, and then Dan's wife says to him, one of the versions of his wife says, hey Dan, and about 84 quadrillion Dans answer, because they're all just all over the place, walking through each other, the versions of Dan. You were looking at Dan and another Dan walks through him, Yes, dear. And can you pop out to the milk bar and get some milk? We used it all in your cornflakes. And Dan might say, can't you just do this? Well, I could. She might say, but could you go out anyway? Okay, dear. And then he warps his way to the front door. His nose comes off, his ears come off, his other bits come off, whatever, and back on again. And his clothes pop off and pop on again like those little dolls. And then he opens the front door. And as he opens the front door, I said, Lauren, you're walking by, and as you look in, there's just one Dan. Everything's normal. That house is still perfect. The hallway that's just so pristine with the little chandelier and everything. It's so annoying, people like that. And I said, you look in there and there's only one Dan. And there's Dan's wife saying, there you go, dear. You know, gives him a $5 note to go and buy the milk. And he says, little Dan, come along for the drive. And he hops in his Volvo and they shut the door. And they hop in the Volvo and off they go down to Noopa. I said, which version of Family Dan is the real one? Which one isn't weird and which one's weird? Which one's being fake? Which is the fake Fam Dan? You know, which is the fake Family Dan? And I said, and because I've been talking a lot about the universe lately, you know, the moral of the story was, this is roughly how the universe works. You know, I'm looking at this street here with a beautiful tree. So, a beautiful suburb. This, everything is in order. The streets are all neat and everything's tidy. But what's happening behind closed doors? If you look inside the trees, you know, if you look down inside me and all that sort of stuff, you know, it's weird down there. No, it's not. It could be normal, and this could be weird. And the intuitions we have is what I was getting at. You know, we have this intuition, you know, this gut feeling, this pub test we use. Nah, that's bullshit. You know, yeah, nah, that's all right. That's bullshit. No, I call bullshit on that. Correct, wrong, fact, false. We use our intuition to do that. But our intuition is evolved over millions and billions of years under the false apprehension that Family Dan is the way Family Dan steps out when they go out. But we've never had access to the inside of the Family Dan house before, and we do now, just in the last 100 years. Is it even weird? You know, because people say stuff at the subatomic level acts weirdly. Maybe it's acting normally, and this is weird. Yeah. Could be. Well, it is. You know, depending which way you want to look at it, and it isn't. But